creatures of the world, and welcome back to Coffee with Kerri-Lynn. I sound like Froggy from the Rascals still. Little Rascals. Remember that show? I'm of a certain age. What can I say? It is a beautiful winter day in the far north of Maine up along the Canadian border. It's 31 degrees. It feels like spring outside. All weekend long, we had wind chill warnings of minus 33 degrees. So this is heavenly outside today. In the Corona, Maine, I hope everybody is having a beautiful day wherever you might be. I hope you're having a day filled with fabulosity and dang good coffee. Because you're going to need dang good coffee to get through your day. You deserve it. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, let's do another hot button topic. Boy, did I piss off a few people the other day when I did my video about not transing the children until they're 19 years old. Doesn't mean you can't trans. It just means you have to be an adult to do it. And people just don't understand it. Now, for those people who decided to make excoriating comments in the comment section below on that video, and your comment didn't show up, it's because we have super strong filters. We have the strongest filters that we can possibly have on my YouTube channel. And for those people who decided that they were going to put a letter and several dots in the end letter and I could figure out what it was, you see, your comments were blocked and deleted. You were blocked and deleted. And I have a hard copy. All content creators receive a hard copy email of every single comment that is put on in their comment section below the video. So we have all those lovely emails of people who wrote, edited, changed things so that the comment could get there. All I have to say to you is au revoir. Now we're going to do it again with the new requirements for food stamps in 2025. People are up in arms. People don't understand. Just like they didn't understand the executive order creating only 2 genders and not being able to transition until you're 19. Didn't take away the power to transition. You can still do that. You just can't do it at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. You cannot manipulate and permanently alter and damage the body of another human being while they are a minor. They can transition all on their own and get their own medical care when they are adults, as it should be. No child should be in charge of their medical treatment. Kids don't pay attention. So therefore, they cannot be one-on-one with their doctor making huge life-altering decisions because the 12-year-old don't know anything. And that's just the way it is. So everybody mistook what Donald Trump's executive order was doing. It wasn't abolishing transitioning. It was making it so that the child had to wait until they're 19 years old to transition. You can still do it. Now we got the SNAP benefit people that are completely and totally misunderstanding what is going on with their SNAP benefits in 2025. Things are changing as they should. As they should. You see, the biggest upset and upheaval that people are having is that the work requirement is going to come back sometime in 2025. Which means if you are an able-bodied human being, you are going to be required to work 80 hours a month, which is 20 hours a week, in order to receive SNAP benefits. And this has people absolutely hysterical. They're taking my benefits away. Nobody's taking your benefits away. States always had work requirements in order to receive food stamps. During COVID, when businesses were shutting down, people had no jobs. They lifted the work requirement and gave food stamps to just about anybody who was having a hardship. That requirement was never reinstated when our country opened back up and business was being conducted again. So the Biden administration allowed for 4 years no work requirement to receive food stamps for able-bodied people. Donald Trump is just bringing that requirement back. Most states are bringing it back. So get off of the couch. Tell your friends on Xbox you have to go get a job for 20 hours in order to eat. The other requirement that has everybody up in arms is, we're going back to the 80s, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. There will be no more junk food or processed food purchased with SNAP benefits. I'm a kid of the 80s. I remember when welfare under Ronald Reagan was very, very stringent. It had a payback requirement. Whatever a single parent took from the system in order to raise the child, whether you got the cash benefit and the food stamp benefit, when you came off of that benefit, when the child was old enough to go to school and you were required to get a job, the parent, they had to pay all that back. They had to pay every single dime they took from the state back. And it made it very, very difficult for single parent households to get ahead. In order to get ahead, you could make more money having a job. However, getting the job required you to pay a monthly stipend to the state until your bill was absolutely covered. You also couldn't buy certain things on food stamps, and that's what today's food stamp crowd is ranting and raging about. In the 80s, you couldn't buy what they considered luxury food items. That was any food product that had a sales tax on it. That was your luxury items. Today, we call it junk food and processed food. So you weren't allowed to do that with your food stamps back in the 80s under Ronnie Reagan. You could not buy ice cream. You could not buy candy bars. You could not buy soda pop. You could not buy potato chips of any kind. You could not buy a gallon of chocolate milk pre-mixed. You could not go to the bakery and spend your food stamps. Anything that had a tax on it was disqualified from the food stamp program. In other words, you had to have real whole food, and the parent of the household had to, instead of opening a quick meal, they had to literally cook the meal. So you could buy the ingredients, but you could not buy the processed product. Now, what's going to happen these days is you're not going to be able to buy your junk food, your potato chips, your soda. You're not going to be able to buy your ice cream. You're not going to be able to buy candy. You're not going to be able to go to the bakery to buy your kid the half a sheet cake for $24.99 on your food stamp. But like in the 80s, you will be able to pay cash out of your pocket for those things if you want your children to have them. And in the 80s, kids were not suffering the amount of obesity we suffer now. Kids were not suffering the amount of diabetes that they are suffering today. So kids in the 80s were fit. We weren't allowed to have a lot of junk food, especially if you were on food stamps. You just couldn't buy those products unless you put the cash out from your pocket. Let me tell you, there was a thing called embarrassment. When you went through the grocery store line, those checkers would bang that key when they found out that you were paying food stamp. And they made you feel like absolute SHIT for using their taxpayer dollars to buy food for your family. Shame went a long way back then, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, and I swear we need to bring some shame back into the world. Another requirement that is going on in 2025 is if your SNAP benefits are stolen, you are shite out of luck. The federal government is no longer going to be replacing stolen SNAP benefits. States may. If you live in a state that wants to replace it, the state might replace it for you, but the state will not get the replacement from the federal government. So, things trickle. And if the federal government is not going to reimburse your state for paying out a stolen benefit so that you can have a double benefit or whatever the scam is with that, then they're going to stop because the state's not going to give you something for nothing. EBT cards will be updated to include a chip. I don't really care about that. Good for them. Make you look like everybody else shopping. And there is a possibility that you may be able to use your EBT cash benefit on Amazon. I'm okay with that for this reason. I want the EBT cash benefit to be utilized to its fullest capacity. I, as a working human being, go online, I need something, I find the best deal, and I purchase it. Sometimes I can purchase it locally, sometimes I purchase it online. It just depends on where the price is cheaper. And I feel that if you are getting any type of welfare benefit, you should also have the same privilege and right to buy your products in the cheapest fashion possible and allow those EBT dollars to be stretched, just like my paycheck is able to be stretched. You get the maximum off of the benefit. And so I think that's a good idea. Now, also in 2025, it looks like if you have 2 working parents in the household and you still are below the poverty line, it looks like you are now going to be able to receive food stamps. And you'll be assessed, I think, a little more frequently, but it is a true hand up for the working poor. What I feel about the welfare system, what I feel about the SNAP benefits, is that it can't be a lifestyle anymore. The taxpayers are tired. We're tired of buying crap food for your kids, for you. We're tired of able-bodied people not getting off the couch because they want to play video games all day or watch TV all day. We're tired. Go back to work. Earn your way like everybody else has to do. I have firmly believed since I was in my 20s, this is how the welfare system should work. If you receive benefits, relationships don't work out. You're married, you have 2 kids, 3 kids, doesn't work out. You separate, you go your separate ways. The custodial parent needs to get some kind of welfare benefit in order to have a better life for the children. That's fine. I believe if a year or 2 down the road comes, 10 years down the road comes, and that custodial parent finds another baby daddy, baby number 4 should never be part of the welfare take. It ends generational welfare. That's what it does. So if you get on the welfare system and you have 3 kids, then you find out a year later, now you're going to have the 4th kid. You're responsible 110% for the upbringing of child number 4 on your own dime. That's it. I've always felt that way. I have always felt that the elderly, our veterans, our current military should be paid to a point where they don't have to have assistance. I believe that all of those folks should have some kind of assistance. I believe SNAP benefits. I believe benefits for utilities, benefits for heating. I believe everybody on that type of a fixed income should receive it. I believe that the severely disabled, the disabled that cannot work, the legitimate disabled, not the people with the hurt feelings, can't go to work, I don't like the general public, too damn bad, get over it, go get a job. But I'm talking real disabled people. They should be receiving benefits such as the food stamps, the heating assistance, the utility assistance, whatever they need. And I've already explained how I want the actual, I have 3 kids and now I'm having 4 kids. Nay, it's not going to happen. I believe that that's how the welfare system really should get cleaned up, is to end the generational welfare. I also believe for everybody that I have stated should receive benefits, I also believe each and every one of those people should also receive WIC benefits. I like WIC benefits. I think they're great. It's food supplement. And I think if you receive food stamps or assistance in any form, you should also be able to receive WIC. It should not just be for women, infants, and children. If we cleaned up the welfare system, we could broaden the benefits that we give to people, especially people on fixed income, people that have served our country, people with real disabilities, and also take care of people in a temporary position where their relationship didn't work out and they need a little bit of a helping hand for raising their children. And that's my take on it. You may agree, you may not agree, but we need to clean up the welfare system. And I think this is a fantastic start where the work requirement's going to come back in, and absolutely no junk food or processed food on the taxpayer dollar. Be the kindness that you want to see in the world. And as always, Carpe Diem, because no one promised you a tomorrow.